Okay, we will start now. So today we will see the summing amplifier. So we already are into the applications, linear applications of operational amplifier. And last time we had seen the design of inverting amplifier, both AC as well as DC. In a similar way, non-inverting amplifier design, both AC as well as non as DC. And we have finished off with what is called as a peaking amplifier. All right. That is what we had done last time. So today we'll start with another interesting circuit called as summing amplifier. Again, it has got two flavors. You can have the summing amplifier. You can design the summing amplifier with inverting configuration or and as well as non-inverting configuration. So let us first of all see the inverting configuration. As soon as you see the inverting configuration, even whenever you come across inverting configuration, always mentally you should connect this it like this, that the input is going to be at the inverting terminal, okay, whereas the non-inverting terminal is going to be somehow connected to ground. Okay, so this is so this is going to be your V out. This is, if you mark it here as the first input, the second input, and the third input. And since it is inverting amplifier, we are expecting that the output is going to be negative. This is the feedback resistor RL. Let us call this as RA, RB, RC. Okay, this will call as R. Okay, now as the name suggests, it's going to have a summing effect. Means that VA, VB, and VC. This should be VC. So VA, VB, and VC will be added up together. And in what way? That is what we are going to see. So mark again the two voltages or the nodes. Voltage of these two nodes. This is V2. This is V1. Again, the current flowing inside the operational amplifier is the bias current, IB, and I'll call this current as IF, the current flowing through the feedback resistor. Current flowing through this resistor I'll mark as IA, this will be IB, and this will be IC. Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I may be a little bit, my voice may be a little bit feeble because of the, no, I'm not able to speak very loudly. Okay.
So you are audible. It's okay.
Okay, fine. Very good. So once you know this circuit diagram, we'll be writing KCL. Kirchhoff current law using KCL at V2 node. What do I get? So what are the various currents flowing into this V2 and out of this V2? What are the currents? Come on, tell me how to write the equation here. KCL at this node at V2. Come on, guys, tell me.
So IB is equal to IF plus IB.
It will be IA plus IB plus IC
C.
equal to, yes,
So
sum
IF plus IB.
of currents flowing into the node is equal to the sum of the currents flowing out of the
Out
node. That is the
node.
basic KCL, right?
Yes,
Now
sir.
we know, we assume this to be an ideal operational amplifier, and so IB will be 0. Again, also, what is the basic assumption that we use with the operational amplifier? That V2 is equal to V1. And what is V1? What is V1? What is the value of V1 here? Guys, what is the value of V1? Come on, guys.
0.
It is 0, correct? 0 volts. So this is also going to be 0. All right. Is that fine? But what is IA? What is IA? How do you get IA? The current flowing in RA. How do you write it in terms of BA and RA? Using Ohm's law, simple. This is 0. Why? Or I can say this at virtual ground. That is a basic property, no? That is the reason why we have said V1 equal to 0. So V2 is also equal to 0. V2 equal to V1 equal to 0. All right. Is it clear up to this point, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what is IA then?
Yes, sir.
Apply Ohm's law here.
So VA by RA.
Yeah, it is going to be VA by RA. Similarly, what is going to be IB?
VB upon RB.
VB by
What is going
RA.
to be IC?
VC upon RC.
VC by RC.
So I'll write using this equation. This first equation, I'll call this as, okay, I'll rewrite that equation. IA plus IB plus IC equal to IF. Remember, we have already assumed that IB is equal to 0. So putting all this here. Okay, what is going to be IF? Again, Ohm's law. Zero here, minus VO here. So what is going to be IF? Guys?
VO by IF.
Minus VO by RF.
RF.
ठीक है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll put it all this in this equation to get VA by RA plus VB by RB plus VC by RC is equal to minus VO by RF. This is going to be our important equation here. So now what is going to be the value of VO? So VO is going to be, output voltage is going to be negative sign RF by RA into VA plus RF by RB into VB plus RF by RC into VC. Understood?
Yes, sir.
If we make RA equal to RB equal to RC, if I call this as R, then VO is going to be what? Minus RF by R into VA
VA plus B.
plus VB plus VC. So
Plus
what does this tell us? This tells us that the output voltage is minus whatever is the gain provided by RF by R into sum of the input voltages. This is nothing but a summing amplifier, of course, in inverting configuration. So output voltage is equal to negative sum of all the inputs times the gain of the circuit. Which is RF by R. As a special case, if I make RF equal to R, then output becomes simply minus VA plus VB plus VC. That's it. So what we get is a summing amplifier. Clear?
yes, sir.
Now, again, of course, since we have talked about the general case, you can use this circuit as a scaling amplifier. Or also called as weighted amplifier. Okay. And what do we get here? Simple. The output voltage will be exactly is the same as that, whatever we have derived, except for we'll be having different ratios for the different inputs. Same equation I am reproducing here, nothing different. So here in this case, here, please mute your microphone. Please mute your microphone. So here in this case, RF by RA is not equal to RF by RB, not equal to RF by RC. Now, in what situations you can have, I mean, you require such a kind of weighted amplifier? A very simple case would be that if you want to have mixing of different audio channels in an orchestra, what do you have is a setup where you have different channels, audio channels coming from different instruments and a vocalist, whatever, and then you want to have some kind of emphasis on a particular channel. For example, if you want the voice, the vocalist to be more enhanced, the instrument should be, let us say, less audible as compared to the singer. In that case, you can use such a kind of scaling amplifier. You can simply have more gain for the channel which is giving which is actually the vocalist channel. Okay, so a very simple example would be there. Okay, another example is in terms of the what is called as an averaging circuit. So all these are possible, let us say, applications. So what we want is the average of the input voltages. So in that case, what should happen? What should I do? Over there, what I will do is we want the V out. So V out is average of all inputs. Then what we can have is RA is equal to RB equal to RC equal to R, and then I'll make sure that RF by R is equal to 1 by N, where N is the number of inputs. So in case of if N is equal to 3, if inputs are equal to 3, then we have output voltage VO as minus VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. So this becomes an averaging. Do you agree to that, guys?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Any
Yes,
doubts,
sir.
any questions up to this point?
No,
Yes.
sir.
All right. So let us move ahead with the next configuration. That is the non-inverting configuration of this summing amplifier. Okay. So B, non-inverting configuration. Okay. So let me draw that configuration first of all. So this is again plus VA plus VB plus VC. Now for the sake of simplicity, what I'm going to do is make these resistors equal. This is going to be R1, this is going to be RF. Again, call this node as V1, call this node as V2. Okay. Now here, the derivation is slightly different. First of all, what is the input impedance looking into this branch. Okay, what is the input impedance looking into this branch, guys? Is going to be very high or very low? Guys, hello, am I audible? Guys,
Yes.
so what is going to be the input impedance looking into this non-inverting terminal? It is going to be
Low.
very high.
Low.
Very high. How can it be low? You forgetting basics. Input impedance or resistance of non-inverting input is very high. Don't forget these basic things. And since it is very high, I can apply the superposition theorem. So we will apply now. Look at this derivation carefully. It is not that straightforward. Apply superposition theorem. Okay, what does superposition theorem say? That if there are multiple sources, of course this is valid for linear bilateral devices.
Linear bilateral devices.
Yes, what I can do is I can remove the other sources, replace them with their internal resistances. Then
Yes, sir.
I can simply carry out the process for a number of sources and then finally add the results together. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's a very simple way of talking about superposition theorem. So excuse me. So here in this case, we will have to make sure that I'll have to draw this again. It doesn't matter. This is R1. Okay. Okay. Now, if I want to apply superposition theorem for this VA, I can simply remove these sources. And now whatever is the voltage appearing at the input here, I'm going to call this as V1A. Remember, this is also R. This is also R. So what is the output voltage? What is the voltage V1A corresponding to VA? Right now we are not talking about output voltage. We just want to find out what is the voltage that appears here when one of the inputs is applied and the other two voltage sources are replaced by their internal resistances. Means they are simply grounded. So what is going to be V1A? See, it looks something like this. You have VA, and then this is your V1A, and here you have two resistors like this, R. Are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
We want to find out V1A. So it is simple potential divider. You agree with that?
Yes, sir.
So V1A I can have as VA into this R parallel R, the lower branch, applying potential divider equation divided by, yes, R
R
plus
parallel
R
R
parallel.
plus R. Yes, sir.
Okay, that gives me VA into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2. All right.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, I can get V1B as VB into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2, and V1C also as VC into R by 2 divided by R plus R by 2. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So what is the net voltage appearing here? V1. It is going to be an addition of all these three.
V1A plus V1B plus V1C.
So V1A plus V1B plus V1C, which is nothing but VA into R by R2, R by 2 plus R plus R by 2, plus VB R by 2, R plus R by 2, plus VC R by 2, R plus R by 2. Okay. If you simplify this, what do you get? V1 is simply equal to what? Can you work this out? Guys,
Yes, sir. Just
please work it out. See, this R will get cancelled somehow.
so 1 by 3 it should come. So R by 2 upon R plus R by 2 if
Correct.
we
So
solve it.
what you get is VA by 3 plus
Yes,
VB
sir.
by
VB
3
by 3
plus
plus VC
VC
by
by 3.
3.
So all in all, what I get is 1 by 3 into VA
VA
plus
plus VB
VB
plus
plus
VC.
VC. Okay. So this is your V1,
Yes, sir.
but we already know that this is a non-inverting amplifier. So what is the output equation? Output voltage equation for non-inverting amplifier? VO is 1 plus RF by R1 into
R1.
your VI, V1,
V1.
isn't it? So this gives me 1 plus RF by R1 into whatever we have derived here, VA plus VB plus VC divided by 3. This is the equation for output voltage. As you can see, that output is a sum of course, with these scaling factors, output is a sum of VA plus VB plus VC. If I make R1 plus RF by R1 equal to 3, then what do I get? VO is VA plus VB plus VC. So essentially what I get is a summing amplifier, but of course it is a non-inverting output. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Very straightforward and simple derivations. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
If there are any doubts, please raise them immediately. Just have a look at the last derivation. Sorry. Okay, so if there are no questions, we'll move ahead. Another important application that we're going to see is a difference amplifier. And yes, as you may have guessed properly that this is going to amplify the difference between its two inputs. Just like the summing amplifier, this is going to be a subtractor. Okay, so here there are three different variations. Okay, what we are going to see first is a subtractor. So this comes under, everything comes under the difference amplifier category. So the first one, subtractor with single op amp. And it's going to be a very simple circuit like this. Look at this configuration properly. I'll call this R2 and R3. This is going to be VA. This is going to be VB. Now this circuit, I don't know why many books and even many websites online, if you see, this circuit is called as a differential amplifier. Please don't get confused. The differential amplifier, we have specifically used that particular word for the amplifier which was built using two transistors, okay, matched pair of transistors, and that we called
Yes.
as differential amplifier. Many sites, many websites, many books, even, I don't know, they call this as a differential amplifier, whereas this should be called as a difference amplifier. Okay, so don't get confused with these two words. Specifically, students have this habit of referring to internet web pages and also and so forth. So this is where the confusion may arise. So please make sure you don't fall in that trap. Okay, here again I'm going to use superposition theorem. So using superposition theorem, because there are two inputs like this. One of the inputs I'm going to ground, find out the output, ground the other input, again find out the output and add them together. It's going to be as simple as that. Always remember this trick. So what I will do is I will ground this temporarily. Now what do I get? What is the configuration that I get? See, what is the configuration that I get? This is this configuration, by the way, when this is grounded. Yes, guys. If VB equal to 0, it is a simple What? Which amplifier? Guys, please respond. Which is this amplifier? It is this part is grounded. So what do you see of this? What is this amplifier? The very first amplifier that we have seen. Which one is it? Guys, please respond. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Why are you slow in responding? Guys, all of you, are you all there with me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
please respond, yeah. Please respond. Very simple thing. I'm not asking any difficult question. What is this amplifier configuration? Forget about this non-inverting input. This is all grounded, so no issues with that. Which is this amplifier? Which is this amplifier? Come on, guys. Don't you see it is a simple inverting amplifier? Guys,
Yeah.
was it a difficult question?
No, sir.
Then why aren't you able to answer it? It simply means that you are not studying at all. You're not revising. All the videos, previous videos are there available to you. In spite of that, you don't go through it. This is a very dangerous situation. Let me warn you. So if VB is equal to 0, it is a simple non-inverting amplifier, and we know that what is output equation for non-inverting amplifier? I'll call this as VO corresponding to input A. So what is the equation for output?
So 1 upon RF plus RI.
What?
No, sir, that
Gain.
was for
Gain of
non-inverting.
inverting amplifier.
Sir, wait, just
Simply minus RF divided by R1 into input, that is VA.
in VA.
If I make if RF is equal to R1, which I make them equal, in that case VOA is simply minus VA. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we have to do the other thing, that is ground this. This is VB. So what do I get here? What is this configuration now? Guys, if VA is 0, it is a non-inverting amplifier. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
The only thing is that you are going to have a potentially divided output input at the non-inverting input here. Everything else remains the same. Okay. So what is the equation for output voltage for non-inverting? VO is equal to 1 plus RF
1 is R upon R1.
into whatever is the voltage. I'll call this as Vx. Okay, which is this
Yes,
voltage.
sir.
Which is this voltage. So this is Vx. Agreed? But what is this Vx? What is Vx? Can you tell me? How do I get Vx? This is a simple potential divider. So tell me, what is Vx? Value of Vx? Vb into potential divider equation.
Sir,
Yes. Simple potential divider equation. If you're not able to tell me what is potential divider equation, I don't know. I'm surprised as to how you will understand the other things. Yes, come on.
screen is not visible to me, I guess. I've tried joining it again also. I don't know it's happening with others also. If
Others are absolutely, they are silent. They don't bother. They don't care about what is going on.
Sir, sir, the screen
Many
is
students,
really not.
many
Sir,
students are simply
screen is
logging
not
in
visible.
screen. So that is what you have to
yes,
tell me,
sir,
no?
so, yes,
I'll
I
share it again. I'll share it
there
again.
was problem with me, so I joined again also, but still it's not visible to me.
So you
So
tell
I
me,
thought,
others, what are the others doing?
I don't know. I also tried the same thing.
So please, you should have told
It
me.
was
There are almost 40 odd students, those who have logged into this session, and nobody is bothered about what is going on here. This is a very dangerous situation, guys. Very, very dangerous situation. And I'm observing this right from EDA, that many students are simply logging in and they are not responding. They don't bother to attend the lectures. And then what they do at the end, they try to get up to some website, try to understand concepts from some other places where it's all patchy. So they won't understand anything in the final run. That is the reason why many of you are not able to score good marks in your unit tests for EDA. That is what I have seen. And I warned you again and again. Anyways, not do anything more than that. So is the screen visible now at least?
yes, sir, now it's visible.
So what is the value of Vx
Sir,
for the potential divider equation? Vb into, now is it that difficult?
So can you show the circuit once, because
Is it visible now?
yes, yes, sir, now it's visible.
So Vx is Vb into R3 divided by
Divided
R2
by
plus
R2
R3.
plus R1.
R1, R2 plus R3.
Oh, yes, sir, Vx है, sir. Okay.
So ultimately, what do I get? Vo is equal to, or Vo
1
corresponding to
plus
B. Vo corresponding to B is 1 plus
RF
Rf
upon
by
R1,
R1 into R3 divided
R2
by
plus
R2 plus
R3,
R3 into Vb.
VB.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now if I make R1 equal to R2 equal to R3 equal to Rf, all these registers if I make equal, in that case, what do I get? VOB will be simply what?
Simply equal to VB.
VB, correct. But ultimately we have VO. Don't forget the last step. VO is nothing but VOA plus VOB.
Plus VOB.
So that gives me minus VA plus VB. Remember that VOA was minus VA.
Yes, sir.
So what do I get here? V output voltage is the
Difference of
difference between the two input voltages,
two input
right?
voltages. Yes, sir.
That is the reason why it is called as a difference
Difference
amplifier.
amplifier.
Now one basic problem associated with this circuit is that one very basic problem associated with the circuit. Can anyone tell me what this can be? Look at VA input. So whenever we have the input VA, what does the input VA see? What kind of VA is nothing but your source, of some kind. So what does it see? It sees an inverting amplifier. All right. For VA,
Yes.
we have it is an inverting amplifier. But for VB, it is a non-inverting amplifier. And we already have seen that the inverting amplifier, the input impedance of inverting amplifier is less. For non-inverting input impedance is more or less good or high. Do you agree to that? Refer to the table that we have already seen.
Yes, sir.
Let me see if I can go back to that table. I think we had a table there. In one of the sessions. Let me see where it is. Yeah. Somewhere we had a table, right? Which lecture was it? I don't remember now. But there was a we had a table which we prepared after we finished with the design of inverting and the non-inverting amplifiers. See? Somewhere. Okay. Do you have it in front of you? Somebody must have taken down the notes. Yeah, here. We got it. See this?
Yes, sir.
So what is the input impedance for inverting amplifier? This parameter. Compare this. What do you see?
Sir, for non-inverting, it's very high.
Correct.
And
And for inverting, it is limited by this R1.
R1.
Okay. So
Yes.
the gist of the story is that even though this looks deceptively simple, this amplifier, this difference amplifier looks deceptively simple, it is not a good choice. Why? Because both the inputs will see different kinds of input impedances.
Yes, sir.
This is a very, let us say, critical situation. Now, where do you find the use of a simple use? Of course, will be whenever you have a transducer bridge. Okay. So let me see how we can. Okay. So we have a transducer bridge like this. You have seen, you have already studied the transducer bridge, no? This kind of bridge have you studied?
Yes, sir.
So this is your plus VCC. This can be an LDR bridge, or it can be a strain gauge bridge, which is called as a load cell. Okay. So the transducers may be mounted like this. I mean, these components may be the transducer. This is a balance bridge. And then I am having the output of this bridge like this. Okay. And in that case, if I want to find out the output voltage, what I will simply do is use the difference amplifier here. Like this. This is the simplest configuration. This is the simplest application of the difference amplifier. But beware, this is not a good circuit. I am again and again telling you the same thing. The reason is that we have the input impedance looking into this terminal and looking into this terminals are not equal at all. And this is going to create problems. All right.
Yes, sir.
So just keep it in mind that this is just a okay. This will be useful only when the output resistance looking into these terminals are very high, very small. Okay, or in other words, the output impedance of the transducer bridge, output resistance or impedance of the transducer bridge is very small. In that case, these
Small.
input impedances for the operational amplifier won't matter much. This again is nothing but the problem leading to loading effect. Okay, so you have to
Yes, sir.
first of all find out what is the output impedance of the bridge or the sensor or the transducer. Okay, and then correspondingly make a decision as to whether to go for using a simple difference amplifier or an enhancement of the same. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine. I think we have few minutes left. Okay, we'll complete this another variation.
Can you please repeat this last point once again? Like we have to find out this output
Okay,
resistance of this.
output impedance of transducer. Specifically, transducer is a generic term. We call it as a sensor.
Yes, sir.
And if it is low, in that case, you can safely use this difference amplifier.
Okay, sir.
If time permits, I will tell you demonstrate how bad it can be with a simulation. All right. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Let us move ahead fast. So we have another variation, difference amplifier with two op amps. All right. This is a modification to the first one, rather an improvement to the first one. This is your first input Vx. U. Call this operational amplifier A1, call this A2. This is RF, this is R1. This is another input. Don't get worried about so many resistors here. So this is R3, which is numerically equal to R1. This is R2, which is numerically equal to RF. This is by design. You can immediately see that it is a combination of two circuits. This circuit happens to be your what? Non-inverting amplifier.
Non-inverting amplifier.
And what is this circuit then? What is this circuit? What kind of memory do you have? Don't you see it is a difference amplifier? Yes?
Yes. But
Isn't it? Come on, guys. Okay. Call this voltage over here as Vz. Then you'll be able to see easily. What is Vz? Non-inverting amplifier. So R3 by R2
1 plus R3 upon
into Vy.
Vy.
Again, applying superposition theorem to the second stage. V out is same thing. We'll apply superposition. And then we can get the final output as this will be simply minus RF by R1 into Vz plus, for this it is going to be an inverting amplifier, no? A non-inverting amplifier. For Vx it is going to be a non-inverting amplifier. So
Yes.
this is going to be 1 plus RF by R1
R1
into Vx.
Vx.
So finally I'm going to get Vo is equal to minus RF by R1 into 1 plus RF. Sorry. What is Vz? Don't forget what is Vz. R3.
R3 upon R2 into
Vy plus 1 plus
1 upon
RF by R1 into Vx.
Vx.
If we have already said R1 equal to R3 and RF equal to R2, this boils down to Vo as 1 plus RF by R1 into Vx minus Vy. So what we get is a difference amplification, right? With an amplification factor of this guy, 1 plus RF by R. Okay? Now have we solved the problem? Have you solved the problem of the previous amplifier? Look at this, very simple. Vx looks at an inverting input, non-inverting input, and so it will see a very high input impedance. Vy also will see a
A very
non-inverting
high.
input and very high input impedance. So we have solved that problem of. We have solved the problem of
Last case, which we had the
yes, high
problem.
input impedances for both of
Both
the
the
inputs. But
inputs. Yes.
again, the impedances seen are not really equal. Even though they are high, they are not equal. For precision work, you require that to be exactly equal. Okay, and so we will come out with a very interesting and mostly used circuit, which is called as the instrumentation amplifier. I mean, the special case is the instrumentation amplifier, where it is a difference amplifier with 3 operational amplifiers that we'll see tomorrow. All right.
Okay, sir.
Any doubts? Any questions till this point? Now try
Sir,
to
No.
solve, try to derive on your own whatever we have seen in the class. Okay, and then the concept will be concretized. All right.
Okay, sir.
Fine.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'll sign off here. Thank you.
Sir,
Thank you,
can
sir.
you upload these videos in YouTube?
All my videos are available on YouTube.
Sir has already uploaded
Yes.
previous.
But sir, it was not updated. I saw last week.
You can check out.
Last week we didn't had any lectures, so that is why.
Sir, lecture number 16 is not there.
That also sir has done it. कर दिया है
Okay.
सर ने जो बचे हुए थे वो.
We already have all the lectures till date uploaded on the YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.